All right, let's get right into it. For years now, our digital lives have been run by algorithms that decide what we see, what we read, and what we binge watch. But that whole era, the era of the endless scroll, it's coming to an end. We're moving from a world where AI just recommends things to a world where AI actually takes action. Think of it this way. It's the difference between a GPS that tells you where to turn and a self-driving car that just takes you there. This is the story of the Agentic AI Revolution.
And this right here, this is the core thesis, the big idea that flips the whole table. For the last decade, the ultimate advantage in tech was the data flywheel, right? More users meant more data, which meant better recommendations, which brought in even more users. Well, that advantage is basically evaporating. Why? Because this new generation of AI agents can just scrape all that intelligence and act on it themselves, turning a company's greatest asset into a simple commodity.
So, the crucial point is this shift you see right here. We're leaving the attention economy, where every platform is engineered to keep your eyeballs glued to the screen, and we're entering the action economy. This is where value isn't created by you watching, but by your AI agent getting something done for you. The whole game shifts from you doing the discovering to you, well, delegating it away.
Okay, to make this feel real, let's talk about something we all do: shopping online. This is where this whole agentic shift becomes super clear and, tangible.
I mean, think about the last time you bought a pair of shoes. It was probably something like this, right? A total mess of tabs, endless scrolling through reviews, hunting for some coupon code that works. It's a friction-filled, manual process where you are doing all the heavy lifting.
Now, imagine a different world. Imagine just saying to your phone, hey, find me the best-rated, waterproof hiking boots under $200 in my size and just buy them. And poof! Your agent does all the research, compares the prices, finds the best deal, and executes the purchase. That is frictionless fulfillment. And in that world, the retailer you bought from, they just become a fulfillment pipe. And the platform you spent hours scrolling on before, it might get completely bypassed, gone.
So what kind of magic is making this massive leap possible? What's the new tech? Let's pop the hood for a second and see what's powering these agents. We're talking about a new beast called Agentic Recommender Systems. Now, the keywords to focus on here are things like autonomous, multi-step, and on a user's behalf. See, this isn't just a slightly better suggestion engine. This is a system built from the ground up to plan, strategize, and execute complex tasks for you. And this is how they do it. This table breaks it down perfectly. These systems have a memory, so they remember your preferences and past conversations. They have a planning module to break a big goal down into tiny, achievable steps. They have tool integration, so they can actually use a web browser or connect to an API to get things done. And of course, they can interact with you. Ask clarifying questions. It's a true cognitive architecture.
So here's a great way to think about the difference. The old recommendation tech, collaborative filtering, was pretty simple. It basically said, hey, people who are like you also like this. But these new agentic systems? It's more like having a dedicated team of specialists, a research agent, a comparison agent, a purchasing agent, all working together, coordinating to achieve your specific goal.
You know, when a shift this big happens, the giants of the industry have to react. And believe me, they are making massive, high-stakes moves. Let's take a look at how the titans are scrambling to adapt to this new world.
I mean, look no further than Apple's landmark deal with Google. This is huge. Gemini isn't just going to be another app on your iPhone, it's being woven into the very fabric of the operating system as the world knowledge layer. Why Gemini? Because Google owns the whole stack, from the silicon to the data centers, giving it the scale and the native multimodal skills Apple needs. And what does this do to OpenAI's ChatGPT? It basically repositions it as a niche opt-in plugin. You see, the war is shifting. It's not just about who has the best model anymore, it's about who controls distribution.
Meanwhile, you've got Meta, and they are playing a completely different, and you could argue, an even smarter game. Their whole strategy is now laser-focused on one metric: economic value added, or EVA. Just think of it like this. For every single dollar they invest in their business, in servers, in people, in whatever, EVA measures how much pure, unadulterated profit they get back after all the costs are paid. It is the ultimate measure of efficiency. And the number they're putting up, frankly, it's staggering. For every dollar of capital that Meta puts to work, it generates almost 67 cents in pure economic profit. That 66.8% EVA margin is almost unbelievable, especially when you see how it stacks up against the competition.
And yeah, this chart just says it all.
Meta's efficiency at turning $1 of capital into real profit absolutely dwarfs its biggest rival Google, not to mention the rest of the industry. And this is all because their business model is so capital light. They can make tiny algorithmic tweaks to things like Reels and generate massive incremental value without having to spend billions on new factories or whatever. It's an efficiency engine.
But look, this revolution isn't just a story about the Titans. It has kicked off an absolute gold rush, creating this whole new generation of startups that are building the autonomous systems of the future.
I mean, just look at this number. The projected market for AI agents is enormous. We're talking over $52 billion by 2030. This is not some niche little market. This is the next major platform shift. And that's why you're seeing venture capital just flooding into the space.
And the money isn't just going anywhere. It's flowing into these super specialized, high-stakes industries. We're seeing AI agents for lawyers like Harvey AI with a $5 billion valuation, agents for healthcare like Hippocratic AI, and agents for customer service like Sierra, hitting a $10 billion valuation by building AIs that can handle really complex regulated work. The valuations are just insane.
Okay, but with all this incredible power, you knew this was coming, comes some pretty unprecedented risk. We have to talk about the serious implications of giving AI the autonomy to actually act in the real world.
So we have to ask the really critical question here. What happens when these agents aren't just ordering you a pair of shoes? What happens when they're managing a company's inventory, or executing financial trades, or handling your most sensitive data? What happens when they truly have the keys to the kingdom?
And this brings us to this concept of action risk. See, the very thing that makes these agents so powerful, their ability to actually take action in real systems, is also what makes them incredibly dangerous. A bug or a security flaw isn't just a glitch anymore. It could trigger a whole cascade of unauthorized actions, creating just massive financial or reputational damage.
So this all brings us to the final critical takeaway for understanding this new world. The old moat was data. The new moat is frictionless fulfillment. The companies that are going to win in this new era won't be the ones who are best at keeping you scrolling. They'll be the ones that make it dead simple for your agent to get things done on their platform.
Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. As we delegate more and more of our lives, our finances, and our businesses to these autonomous systems, what actually becomes the most valuable asset? Is it the raw power and capability of the AI? Or is it our trust that it will act reliably and always in our best interest? That's the question that's going to define the next decade of tech.